most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of a Roustabout. My guest on the show, fuck, that's my alarm. I gotta change my testicle pills. Not very professional, but we're back. We're back, and my guest on the show in the no fishing district of Lady Bird Lake, Winston Shaw.
What's up?
Thanks for being on the hot Texas walk that I like to take fat people on until they wheeze. You know how many people I've ruined my relationships with just because I took them on a walk?
Really?
Yeah, they get really offended. They can't believe that they are subjected to monotonous heat. Not to mention, I'm not always a pleasant person to be around. I'm sure you picked that up immediately when we first met. Winston.
Mr. Rouse.
What was your life previous to your move to Austin?
So I moved from Knoxville, which is like the right side of Tennessee.
Let's get on this side of the line so we don't look like amateurs in the world.
Knoxville. I moved from Knoxville with Trey, Darian, and Lucas got here a little before us.
Mm-hmm.
But I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, which is the other side of the.
Okay,
yeah.
So you must be a proud Memphisian?
Yeah, not right now. The city's got some bad stuff going on, but
at least you got William Montgomery.
yes, we got.
How pleased are you about that? Nobody gets out of your town.
Oh no, not at all. We got Poston too. Poston's originally.
That's
from Memphis.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. He was a store guy forever.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that can tell you about what life was like pre-COVID in at the Comedy Store, it was electrifying. It was great.
How far now? As far as the Comedy Store goes, you were there. That's what you were saying. You were there for 13 years.
Yeah, I lived in the U.S. for 15. I moved to New York initially from London, and when I it was always going to be L.A.
Yeah.
or New York. When I got my green card, those were totally one of two destinations, and the year I moved to New York, they had this fucking 100-year-old record-breaking snowstorm, 6 feet of snow in Brooklyn, and I had not favored. I wanted to be around real comics, and New York had all the shit that I saw in London, England, at the highest level in North America. So, and I knew that LA was a place where comedic actors would go.
Yeah.
Sketch people, improv people. Stand-up was really, a lower on the totem pole. And I wanted to be around people that were Ivy League comics. And,
Yeah.
you see the lineups at the Cellar. They've been very strong for a long, long time. Where the store would kind of
Taper in and out.
Yeah, it's totally Hollywood, where it would just go super high.
Yeah.
And then it would be a ghost town for whatever reason. But the whole thing after the snowstorm, I felt like fuck it. The winters were not worth the pain of doing spots in New York. So.
And that's coming from a Canadian.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I never really adapted to the weather. I was never really built for it. It was always layers and potential frostbite,
Yeah.
So, I really looked at it as my quality of life would go up just because of the climate. but the industry was just going to be a whole series of trapdoors and pitfalls through their nonsense, you know.
Yeah.
Hollywood's not into comedy; they're into show business.
I've noticed that because I was in LA a few months ago, and I've just noticed that it seems like the further west you go, the more acted out every bit. It just seems like very like it's just a part of it a lot more out there.
Well, I think it comes down to the weather, you know.
Yeah.
The world's most popular comedy festival in the world is in one of the most wet, dreariest places in Edinburgh, Scotland. People who are getting sunburnt and eating oranges off trees, they're not really looking for the giggles.
Yeah.
But the factory worker in Glasgow, that guy needs a fucking laugh because he's been beating his wife for 2 days and he's starting to get the spins. Speaking of beating wives, somebody told me you showed up at the Vulcan with some ass.
I did.
What's going on?
I did. Is that word on the street? Is that really going around? Golly.
And my friend was saying like these were solid 10s.
Really?
Now I never saw these women. I'd probably cut them down and find all their flaws, call them fat, make them cry. But
yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Is that you got cock game?
I can. It depends. It really it depends. I don't know. I try not to
flaunt it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
okay, that's probably why these girls know that they're literally dating down, but they also know that you're not going to brag about it to your friends.
Yeah, I can't afford to brag. Yeah, no.
Why would you fucking?
That would ruin a good thing going.
Brag about it and sabotage the whole thing. Now the girl's shamed because she sucked off you and 7 of your friends in a baseball
We're all
field.
high-fiving. Yeah.
So are these local ladies?
So 2 of them are from.
What do you mean 2 of them? I thought there was only 2.
So there were 3. There
Wow.
were 2 at Creek. There were 3 at Vulcan.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them were their friends. So one of them is from Memphis originally, and she got out here probably 2 months ago for work. And she came to the secret show and she brought her 2 friends.
All right.
And I don't know where her 2 friends are from. I can't remember.
But hot.
They're all very attractive. I was shocked. Honestly, I was surprised. Like, it made me feel good, and I knew. Because she's friends with other hot girls, and I was also like, secret show. I was like, okay, so we can't go up there and bomb. So what's going to ensure that I don't? It's like, all right, we're going to have 3 attractive women watching my set.
Oh, that's soul destroying. You know what's even worse than bombing in front of them is when you can see their faces in the audience.
Yeah.
I foolishly took a date. I was full of piss and vinegar. I hadn't had a bad show in months, and I brought a girl to a show in England. I can't remember what the club was, but I bombed so fucking bad. It was a top 5 bombs in my entire career. It was brutal.
How much time?
15, 20 minutes, and it started off terrible and it just plummeted. And the tables are up to your knees. It was a crowded pub and it was packed. And then not to mention, after you do that show, you go downstairs and close out the other show. So now I'm all shell-shocked about my experience, and now I got to bring this girl to the second show to see me fucking just
run it back
by.
one time.
It was brutal. But that's good motivation. The worst thing to do is bring your buddies.
Yes, I learned that off the rip.
Yeah. Anybody you've known for more than 10 years and they're friends of yours, do not bring them to the shows. They will fuck it up.
It's
almost puked.
All my buddies, when I started, were all college. They were all in college and frats and shit, so they're all drinking and just party animals.
Yeah.
And so I did want, like, I remember for the first 2 years, I was like in and out, trying to just figure out how to do comedy, and I did not tell a single soul. Like I knew.
Yeah, you knew that they would sabotage. They're totally distracting.
Oh my God.
They got so much inside dirt on you and know where your Achilles heels is. So any heckle is like it's right to the heart.
Just the wind right out of you.
So, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, yes sir.
You're doing comedy there. What's the local scene like?
Very, very small, but.
Is there a major club in the capital?
There was.
In all of Tennessee, there's not much comedy.
There's a Zanies in Nashville. That's the biggest one. But Nashville's probably 2.5-3 hour drive from Knoxville, and the same for Memphis. So it was you would only drive into Nashville if you had something
Yeah.
at a club like that. You weren't going out to do much more. Knoxville's all fucking bar shows and like old movie theaters and just crazy
Sports pubs. And,
yeah, whatever you can find. But it was a hidden gem as far as starting goes, because the people there are so bored all the time that they don't have anything entertainment-wise to do. So I feel like they gave me the confidence to keep. I feel like if a lot of people start here, that would have been a whole different ball game.
Because there's so many first-timers here.
Yes.
You must notice, like, you kind of must feel like a little bit of a veteran coming here with just the minimal experience that you've had outside of the bubble.
Yeah, a little bit. And now also, I just understand as far as, even if someone's been doing it 6 months, if they're older than me, I typically try to listen to anything they have to say, just because of an age, discrepancy.
So you've been at it, what, 3 years?
2.5, yeah.
2.5 years. So you're also a COVID baby.
I am.
Comedian.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, it seems like I don't mean to be rude, but you guys are like a plague.
Yes. Yeah.
There's been an insurgence of, I'd say about 65% of the comedy consciousness right now in North America are all people who spent 2 years on podcasts listening.
Yes. That's 100% what it is. And I think
It's not that easy, is it?
No, not at all.
You must have noticed.
I noticed and that was...
Off the hop.
Yes.
Because there's nowhere to hide.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think because the comedians talk so candidly and so long that they, if you could mirror the same thing, that you should be able to do stand-up comedy too.
Yes. And you think, the way you see people on podcasts and stuff, the way they're just talking and stuff, it looks very like camaraderie, like they're friends. They look like they've been friends forever. And then you realize, like, even if that's the case, it takes so long to build even a repertoire with that kind of relationship with anybody. And so to just...
Hey, Red Band just did my podcast.
Yeah.
Red Band's never done a podcast ever. All right, that's a over a 10-year relationship of just someone doing you a solid and getting out of their comfort zone when they don't need to be.
Yeah.
Very few people
willing to do that.
Yeah. Everybody wants to play it safe, but this also must be a blessing for you. Let's just say, like you said, you spent the last couple of years on podcasts. Red Band must have been like, were you a little kind of like starstruck in a way? Like, dude, you have no idea how influential you are on my career.
When I first saw Red Band, when I got here?
Yeah, or just listening to all the Death Squad podcasts and Kill Tony and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Kill Tony for me was like, I was watching that, like, as soon as I started comedy, and I remember, like, I was thinking about this the other day, when I first started watching Kill Tony, and they had Jeremiah Watkins.
Yeah.
And he was on there. I didn't understand, like, this is just how little I knew about comedy.
Sure.
I didn't understand that he was a comedian as well.
Yes.
And so when he was chiming in to say stuff about the comedian, I was like,
saxophone
who the fuck
player
is this guy?
brilliant.
I'm like, this guy, what the hell? And it didn't make any sense. And now, it's just one of the craziest things to watch. I mean, that show has grown tremendously over the past few years.
Yeah. And I think between the online presence of all the comedians when people have been locked up,
yes,
they also had a kind of instructional video on how to get into comedy through the Kill Tony show.
Yes, 100%.
60 seconds is a lot longer than you think.
Yes. Golly.
There's my booking agent. He's trying to dream up some gigs for me. I still haven't got my Canadian passport.
Really?
I've already canceled 6 shows.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good, man. I've been planning this tour for wherever I can for over a year now.
Yeah.
And the Canadian government is very laxed on sending me back my renewed passport.
Why?
Because it's fucking... You see South Park?
That's just really how it is. That's crazy.
Well, look at, first of all, the government's talking about having another lockdown.
For COVID?
Yeah.
I thought...
And mandatory, they said 80% of the population's been vaccinated.
So what's the... It's got to be a power thing.
This is communism.
That's fine.
It's totally communist shit.
They were doing, like, attacking freedom of speech. What's his name? Ben Albert? Is that the... There was another comedian you had down here from Canada.
Oh, Ben Bankus.
Ben Bankus.
Yeah.
He was talking about his freedom of speech and just all that, how it's just so fucked up there right now.
We have the Charter of Rights, which, to be honest with you, I haven't really reviewed it to a degree, but my mentor and friend, who's awarded the Royal Canadian Order of Canada for his activism in freedom of speech, told me one time, he goes, Canada doesn't have freedom of speech. America does. We always assume that we have these same legal things, that we mirror a lot of American commandments.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. So that really put a bug in my ear I need to build a bridge off this island.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need a green card.
Yeah. And
then 9/11 happened. Literally the year I was applying. It was a fucking nightmare.
So as far like 9/11 hit, what made you want to get into comedy? Like in the first, like what was it? Was it just what were you doing in Canada before you had discovered stand-up?
Good question, by the way. You know, I was a terrorist in my hometown.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was a holy terror.
Like a neighborhood terrorist, just going around, just
chaos.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Gummo?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. What about the movie Kids?
I'm bad. I might have. I don't know.
Yeah, these are all stuff from the 90s, too. Probably the year you were born. What are you, 22?
99, yeah.
Yeah, 22, 99. Anyway, like the Trailer Park Boys meet Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, which sounds funny.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of the times that we'd everything. We used to take off all our clothes and go into stores and shop and stuff.
Really?
And I've got old videotapes, and I mean old tape, like VHS tapes with stuff that sketches and things that we kind of put together with a camera a friend of mine stole from a high school, old Betacam. And we were tinkering with the idea of sketch comedy. I don't think we really knew what it was. We'd seen Saturday Night Live and various sketch shows and stuff, but that got the idea of like structure, timing, performance, writing, and then that was something that was going on in high school. Well, the time I'd been asked to leave high school, I was in the labor force of just everything from carpentry to roofing, restaurant work and things like that. But I was really miserable, and so being up late, fucked up all the time, you start to watch late night television, and I started to pay a little more attention to talk shows that had stand-up comedians on it. I'd mainly turn on for the musical guests, but then I'd see a stand-up act, and I was like, wild, that's kind of cool, this solitary individual thing that you get to do. And then when I started to see people like Andrew Dice Clay and Sam Kinison and Richard Pryor and Carlin and Bill Hicks, and the list went on, these very prolific and in some cases explosive personalities. I'm not sure how deep you dive on the history of comedy, but Andrew Dice Clay and Sam Kinison were as big as any rock star at that time as comedians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Selling out tens of thousands of maniacs. You know how hard it is? You talk about not bringing your friends to the show?
Yeah.
How would you like to have 10,000 of fucking fucked up, every asshole from 10 miles is driven in there to scream. They've been drinking for 3 days, and this is going to be the best night of their life. They're not even there. They just want to say that they saw so-and-so. So, and music was one of the first concerts the first concert I ever went to was Metallica. So between Metallica and Dice, people like musicians like Mike Patton and Gigi Allen, I started to see personalities that no matter where they were and what they were doing, It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then put a proper instruments behind all that. You got a force of nature. And so I started to look at music and comedy under the same umbrella, and always really enjoyed that type of entertainment. So now I'm hooked on more or less favoring the stand-up comedian on anything that I could see.
Yeah.
And then In Living Color came out, a sketch comedy show written starring Keenan Ivory Wayans, and his cast is fucking. It's in Tommy Davidson. Who played Ray? The blind. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. And Jim Carrey. So now I'm find out that Jim has grown up half hour from where I'm currently living.
Yeah.
And his Ace Ventura comes out and just blows our minds.
Yeah.
And his small little TV appearances on various talk shows, and his A&E biography really just gave me a tool book to look at how this kind of manifested itself, and repetition was key. So you see my early stand-up special from 2000, and the physicality in it was very much mirrored after Jim Carrey. So Jim Carrey was the number one reason that I pursued comedy, and took his fearlessness and really applied it to what I was doing. I had a lot of concerns about what other people had thought, or what had me from growing up in the environment that I did, that I just realized, fuck, everybody is alone, and being alone is okay, because it gives you a chance to pursue yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I killed that guy's grandmother. So yes, so seeing enough stand-up, and then comedians in Canada that were taking off in movie and film, like Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
You know, that was another guy that was from Canada that was completely original. And you can line up 10 comedians, none of them will look and sound the same.
I agree with that.
Canadian comedians. Americans, you're going to have two guys that kind of have some lapse. They're fakers. Actors that got into stand-up comedy who've adopted various
acts that they've put together.
And kind of made it their own. But so then I Russell Peters had told me that Carlin, he'd met George Carlin, and I don't know if it was in that conversation or meeting, but he'd stated that it was just practice forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're kind of looking for a period. Okay, if I do this, and this, but it's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's never ending. This is, you're 2.5 years in. Yeah. I'm coming up on 27 years.
You've been doing comedy longer than I've been.
So I was shitting in buckets on stage when you were born. Yeah. See how the circle of life is?
Yeah.
How nice is this?
This is beautiful.
Do you mind holding this while I tie my shoe like an elderly woman? Oh, my back. Can you believe that I run 6 miles?
Do you wear that hoodie when you run?
I do. I literally am, and sometimes...
You allergic to the sun?
I'm totally allergic to the sun. I'm moderately nauseous right now because of the direct sunlight. Fuck, I didn't tie my shoe tight enough. Fuck. Today's one of those days.
One of those days.
Thanks for walking with dirty Uncle Jason. Yeah, but you've also got a bit of a potty mouth on you.
I can, yes.
As a comedian, like, to come here to Austin, that was definitely your first Kill Tony appearance.
So I did the first one when I first got here. I did it on my birthday.
Oh, no shit.
It was the first time I'd ever signed up.
Was that at Antone's or was it at the Vulcan?
It was at the Vulcan, and it was because I had come down to visit with my dad, just like to check out Austin and all that stuff, and was planning on doing Kill Tony then. And then the moment the plane touched down and we landed, I checked Twitter, and Tony's got that whole controversy that had just happened.
It's like me showing up in LA going, is this a move for my future?
Yeah.
My friends are, they're just talking, and now it's national news.
Yes. And that is what, so,
I can see you salivating.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, I'm totally going to the right jam. These guys are out of control.
These guys are, and I wanted to kind of see how because I knew people were moving here. It wasn't like I hear people say it was like an anti-cancel culture thing, but I don't think that. I think people just wanted to.
Thought there was discussion that Austin comedy scene was anti-cancel culture?
That's what the word, when Rogan and them were first moving here, that's what I heard other comedians saying, is that people were moving here to get away from the grips of the cancel culture as far as LA and New York go.
You know what brought everybody here? Poverty and depression
and COVID.
And as you can see, this is a really difficult place to be at least depressed.
Yeah.
I tell the Canadians that are over there that you're better off living in a tent in Austin than staying in Canada.
I would agree with that.
Right?
These homeless people have it pretty good.
Weather's not bad. There's food to eat in the trees. You can kill a couple turtles.
Yeah, and the people are nice too. That's
people are very nice.
The biggest difference.
And you're from Memphis. I would assume Memphis, the people there are also very sweet and kind.
They can be. In Memphis, white people were a minority, so we all...
Really?
Yes.
The food must be fucking amazing.
To die for, absolutely. But it's...
Oh yeah, but the shitty part is if you're dealing with a black restaurant, it's fucking lineups because it's the jam. So you literally got to bring a patio chair. There's a turkey leg place out here.
Yeah?
Maybe about 20. I've never even heard of a turkey leg restaurant.
No, I didn't know they still did that.
The fucking turkey legs. I follow them on Instagram. I don't think I'm sexually, I can't even say it. Sexually aroused? I'm sexy aroused, but it does move me. When they pick up the bone and all the meat
just falls right off.
What's the Memphis dish?
Barbecue. So the barbecue here is that's what everyone says
around here. They might take offense to
what they say. That's what everyone gets at. Because I tell people like the barbecue in Memphis is great. Like it's to die. But coming here, it's pig versus cow. I prefer brisket. Like the brisket here is incredible, and you also can get it in a decent part of town. Not have to worry about getting robbed or something.
You know where the Buzz Mill is?
Yeah.
Do you know right beside that place, the JNL? Barbecue jam? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, once a month they do pastrami.
Yeah.
My friends went to a steakhouse and paid like $70, $100 a plate of food. It's $18.50 over there. Brisket, ribs, the best potato salad I've ever fucking eaten.
Really?
Green beans, and not to mention black bean or brown, what is it, beans with molasses or whatever. The bacon pieces are like chunks. Oh, so good. But they always go that the other barbecue places sauce it up too much.
I would agree with that. It feels like they're covering something up, like they're trying to hide.
That's what their argument here is. If the meat's good, you don't have to dip it.
You have to drown it in sauce.
Yeah, but that's an American thing. I've never been to restaurants where you have 6 side options, and the side salad comes out on a lobster plate.
Yeah.
Have you ever been fat?
I have not. I don't think I could if I tried. I eat like a horse and I don't put on a pound.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I need to. I want to put on weight. If I could get to $150, I think that'd be ideal.
Yeah. The only way that happens is weights.
Yeah.
Heavy lifting. There's no way around it. If you don't have access to that kind of hardware.
Yeah.
You can do as much push-ups and yoga, and clearly you've been. Since the absence of alcohol, you've clearly realized, I'm not that gross.
Yeah.
Just from absence of booze.
Yeah.
Now you throw a bit of water and some cardio, a little stretching.
Yeah.
You can look like an athlete.
Yeah, and you feel like just overall, you feel so much. Like I can feel that once I stopped drinking for like a little while, I was able to feel like the huge difference as far as like you get so used to drinking every night that your body just, I guess, acclimates to it.
Yeah, it knows because you start to condition it.
Yeah.
And then it not only habit, but your body starts to have it.
Yeah.
Or it responds with a fucking tremoring hand.
Yep.
No. But it's so funny. I've been joking with my friends. I'm like, yeah, it's really great out here when you get sober before they're 25. It's like, give it a chance.
That's my thing. I'm trying to like figure out if I want to be like the old alcoholic or the young one.
Now, the old alcoholic is unhappy.
You think? Is it always?
There's certain personality types that kind of that gloominess, romantic, alcoholic thing. That's a very lonely place to be.
Yeah.
Because you, even though you're maybe look, your body's not gonna, you get into a deficit so bad that your lows are super low and your highs are super high.
Yeah.
And you're fucking up with your friends, doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just speaking from my experience, but I found that I weathered the hangovers pretty good. I could do 6 crushing hangovers a month and drink it all in between all of that stuff. My tabs at the end of the month were like $5,000 in booze. And I'm scratching my head. I'm like, fuck. One of those times were fun.
Yeah,
the rest of it was just filling the void.
Hanging it out, being bored.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I always think that if you're sitting somewhere and you feel like having a drink, you shouldn't be there. There's something on the wall there that you need to be out of the situations, and you just leave. There's nothing worse than dealing with drunk idiots anyway.
I agree with that.
There's nothing that kills comedy faster than 4 pissed cunts at a table screaming about their anniversary. She just got divorced. Yeah, because she's fat. What are you going to do? It's going to happen. Next. Speaking of pigs, what do you think of the girls here?
I think they're, some of them, we got a few.
It must be a different game though.
Yeah, as far as, I've never been around this many like Latinas before, which that's like a different thing for me.
You sound like me when I first got to California.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And it's like, it's not like a huge dip, but it's like,
it's refreshing.
Yeah, I love it. And they have, I like personalities like that. It seems like most of them are like, they have this like the ferocious, is that the right word?
You like
a little fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some woman that's gonna yell at you in front of your friends.
She'll put me in my place if I'm out of line. That type of shit. Yeah.
No, but also volatile. Like all of a sudden just kick up for no reason because you did something 2 days ago. Rather than kind of save it for a conversation in the car, she starts throwing produce at you at the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
and you just got your hands up. We're in love. You know how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you prefer a woman that weighs more than you?
I like big girls
there
for like a specific reason. Like they keep me humble, if that makes any sense. Like the 3 girls that people apparently saw me with.
You use fat chicks as a pussy blocker?
It brings me down, because if I'm with hot girls all the time, or if I'm with just good-looking girls, you start to build this like standard for yourself, and so it's like you kind of have to come back to earth for a little while.
Roll some pigs through the barn.
You have to. I feel like the last thing, because I feel like the especially at my height, you get like little man syndrome if you start thinking you're crushing it.
Yeah, well, this is what friends of mine, they said when fat people lose weight and they get into shape, they turn into the biggest assholes.
That's what I told Trey. I told Trey to just keep eating. Trey, I bet we get along great. And I know the moment if he ever started looking good, I think it would be.
I mean, to blow up his spot, but I was walking down this trail in a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And who do I see coming around the corner? Soaking wet with the rest of us? Fucking Trey, out for a walk. I was like, good for you.
Was he really?
Yeah, he totally was.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was like, this is my jam. I love walking this thing and running it and seeing tourists there at the turtles.
I did not
You
know
must
Trey.
fish in Memphis.
Oh, I love fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing's fun.
You get bass out here, largemouth bass.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Do they let you fish in this area? I saw the no fishing sign down there. Is that for the whole?
I think that's for the bridge crossings
inlet,
and
yeah.
stuff, but no, there's guys out here with full, like, those scaled down fishing boats that are more like kayaks.
Yeah.
all over the place in here.
Are you a big fisher?
You know, when I was a kid, being Canadian, you have to at least know how to put a worm on a hook.
Yeah.
And probably ages like 5 to 15, I was pretty active fisher. Everybody fished in my family. There was no hunting. I don't think anybody had gone. There was no moose or deer on the table, but there was always fish that was caught on a holiday weekend or something. I like it. I think I'd have to sedate myself with a magic mushrooms or something.
A narcotic of choice.
Yeah, I think a mushroom trip in a boat, but that's also, you fall overboard. I hate it when these guys put fucking their Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah, they're big old JBLs in the back of the right. Yeah.
Because it's always the same easy listening bullshit. Now, if I put Witchery, which is a Swedish black metal band, on my Bluetooth speaker on my all black BMX bike, dressed the way I am, and pull down the trail,
Park's closed for the day.
they call the cops. They call the cops. They go, homeless Batman's at it again.
There's a threat. Yeah. Homeless Batman.
Yeah, what are you going to do with yourself? Clearly you've got the most fertile environment to do what you got to do in this city.
Yeah.
But because of the landscape and your new location, what do you got on your list? Like you've told me, you've been very busy being active in the comedy community, get your stage legs. But what do you got? You gonna go shoot some hogs here or fish or?
I want to go hunting. That's my big. I want to go deer hunting out here at some point. I've never been deer hunting, and all my buddies grew up doing that kind of. I went duck hunting a bunch, but deer seems like I don't think I had.
Duck's kind of cunning. Bugs Bunny ruined duck hunting for me. Elmer Fudd and all that.
Yeah.
It made it cartoony. But deer hunting, I think maybe with a bow.
Yes. And I love deer. Like deer are beautiful. So it's like for me to take one out, it would have to be something like a bow or I don't know if I could do it with like just a straight up.
You want to
rifle.
be there's that modern day bang.
Yeah.
It's almost like cheating in a way.
I've never felt because it's
maybe we got old Indian blood on this or something.
Yeah.
Because we totally look nothing like it.
Yeah.
Your parents look like two lesbians from Iceland.
That's exactly what they look like.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly what they look like.
Ah!
That's so funny.
Is there some Icelandic in your family?
No, we got Scottish and I want to say Scottish and England, or maybe
English.
the British. Yeah, the English.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, they raped a bunch. There was a bunch of rapings, but definitely go to Scotland. Some of the best comedy in the world is in that country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And not to mention the Fringe Festival in the entire month of August. You might run into a problem that I had in Ireland. My grandmother's from Cork, Ireland. Grandfather's from Grimsby, England.
Gotcha.
And when I first made a first trip to the UK, one of my second gigs after arriving in London was on a Wednesday in Belfast. And I was like, fucking right. I'm in Europe. I'm literally in the country that my grandmother was born in. And it's a sold out show in an old church on a Wednesday in Belfast. This is going to be wild. Show went well. I kind of had a little fuck up in the beginning, unknowingly. Fortunately, I'd explained that I was from Canada off the top, and it just being so discombobulated of all the transport and the cultures and stuff,
Yeah.
I said it's really nice to be here in the UK. You know the term taking the piss? Thank fuck that is a thing in their world, because I had been, after I got off stage, they explained, to go, mate, you almost caused a riot.
Really?
We had a comic here 2 months ago and we had to barricade the door for similar shit. They don't think it's funny.
That's crazy.
You're lucky you're Canadian and not American, or they would have come after you. Guns N' Roses got booed off for that.
That's insanity. What is that? Why? I mean,
Because Irish people don't fuck around.
That's crazy. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. Look, when you get raped by another country, you don't want to fucking hear about it.
Yeah, I
And they've got a real sense of history and a memory for it.
yeah.
It
Never
was the
forget.
most terrifying, fun experience I've ever had. Next to being in the murder capital of the world in South Africa, hanging out and being told to stay in the car or they would kill me.
Really?
Yeah.
How-
Speaking of getting killed, my house guest here, his mates, and I'm speaking British slang now, his friends are visiting here from a small town in northern Ontario, and one of the guys got robbed at gunpoint and beat up twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Twice?
Twice. And he had a tracker in his wallet, and the guy that was supposed to help him find the wallet had his wallet and just took him into another place to get robbed.
Oh my god.
He got beat up twice, 2 different times by 4 different people.
Oh my god. That's just, I mean, was he...
Over by the creek.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Be wary. You're not in fucking Tennessee anymore, Tammy.
No, I always thought this place, like the crime here is like, you can, in Memphis you cannot walk around like we do. Like you could not,
Yeah.
unless you're at like a park, maybe a park, but even then it's like there's just very few safe areas to walk. Like I got robbed at gunpoint in Memphis. Like it's not a fun feeling. I always thought this place was relatively safe as far, the homeless people.
Next time
maybe,
someone
but-
puts a gun to your head, start jacking off.
does that do it?
I don't know. I want to hear what happens.
If I live to tell the tale. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I've only had a gun to my head once, I think.
Really?
Yeah, in my face, not into my head. But I did meet a guy in Durban, South Africa, friend of a comics.
Yeah.
We pulled up to his house, and one electrical fence, another razor wire fence, 3 different electrical things around their houses.
Fucking compound.
Yeah, totally compound. Looked like Waco, Texas, with David Koresh. High security, and he got a home invasion, and the guy had the gun up. He turned his head to put the gun to his head, was going to blow his brains out. And he pleaded, said, "Listen, my wife's pregnant.
Oh my god.
I'm not the problem here." There's a picture of me when Nelson Mandela got out of prison. He did his speech from his father's house. He goes, it was wild. He's telling us so candidly as a Canadian. I'm like, what the fuck? And that guy who got robbed here,
Yeah.
he says, I'm probably going to need therapy after this. I know, we're laughing. Because we're like, oh, that'd be such a good bit if it was me.
Oh, I would, yeah.
If you got robbed at gunpoint and robbed twice by 8 different people,
I'd have a new 10 minutes.
you would have a new 10 minutes. And a twitch in your eye from PTSD.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd be hopped up off of something to keep me down. That would be absolutely,
Are you even doing the pot?
yeah.
Nice.
That's a
Slow and steady.
slow and steady, and it's I go through phases with it. It's
Single wheel. See what happens when you don't make friends?
World's going to hell.
Oh, that's wild. Look at- Yeah. I've actually seen some videos where they're doing downhill shit with those.
Really? Are you a big scooter guy? Do you do the birds at all?
I've never been on one in my life.
Are you against like quicker ways of transportation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, if it's under an hour on foot,
Yeah.
I'll commit to that. And I use that time to kind of
Gather your thoughts and-
repackage
yeah.
myself. I found that comedy is not a team sport. You're alone a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to have time for yourself, opposed to looking to other people to fortify what you're doing.
Yes.
And that's a hard thing, I think, for a lot of
Especially
people.
comedians.
Totally for
Just seeking
comedians.
validation constantly.
And it's a slippery slope too, and where that can just lead into isolation and depression, and it's a wild one. Yeah, our business is riddled with mental health, epidemic
God.
level.
That's my first thought. One of my first thoughts when I got here is like, the scene here is like the island of misfit toys.
100, yeah.
'Cause everyone's coming here from somewhere, and everyone's got their own bundle of issues
Yeah,
that they've
Yeah.
packed up and brought with them. to the
yeah,
great
and
city
that's
of
what
Austin.
you're supposed to have under 30.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is going to hamper their artist endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to see, especially when Joe Rogan's club opens up.
Yeah.
January.
Is it really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
So that's good. Yeah. I
Yes,
know,
thank
right?
God.
Oh, it's like a freedom train is pulled in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's Club's opening up in January. So that's going to at least give some sort of filtration between the mental ill and the murderers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're very interactive. They're kind of codependent to a degree.
Yeah.
We've seen people just in the short time you've been here. It's like, I've never seen you do good once.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 years on me.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. You're off stage, you're a total idiot, and on stage you're very maybe mediocre at best.
Yeah. What do you think that is? I mean, as far as like someone who's been doing it as long as you, do you think that there is like a point for every comedian, or do you think there is a point for some comedian where it's just like what can I do differently, or should I just stop and pursue a completely different? Like, do you think comedians hit that point, or is that just a constant?
Look, overnight success takes 10 years now.
Yeah.
The first 5, you start to figure it out.
Yeah.
The next 5, you start to put together your first hour.
Yeah.
So the combination of that 10-year period, you're average.
Yeah.
How you have a pretty good idea what that road looks like. Fucking long and full of potholes.
Dark. Yeah.
But there's lights.
Yeah.
They're at the
distance. Yeah.
Way at the bottom. That's what we see. The light. I hear that. You hear that? They're laughing.
There's people over there.
They're clapping. All right. We did that way then.
Yeah.
Everyone's throwing shit at you, including yourself, your own stupid stuff. Yeah. Sorry. Again, from the top. What did you? There was something more.
So as far as just the points of like, I guess the better way to put it is, I mean, do you, like for you personally, did you have like a thing in your mind going into it was like, if this doesn't play or pan out, I gotta hang it up? Or was it like, this is what I'm gonna do regardless, and no matter how long it takes, this is what?
There was some writing on the wall, leading maybe 5, even 10 years previous. My academic career was all disruptive behavior.
I'm in the same boat, yeah.
So I was constantly trying to throw rocks at the castle. Mm-hmm. I was a total. Someone wrote an article, "Jester from Hell," summarizing my performance, and I really looked at I'm like, that's pretty accurate. Like, it's hellish, vile behavior, but it's in a king's court gesture way. So my job, which I embrace, is to fuck with anybody who thinks they're cool.
Yeah.
And that's why you and the other nerds stand at the back of the room and giggle, because I am laying a hate crime on a room full of fucking strangers. It is annihilating.
It does that. You were the first comic I ever saw when I came to Austin.
Oh shit.
The hardest I remember laughing. I mean, it was at the Creek in the Cave, and I will never forget it because my dad and I.
Thanks.
Oh
was your
my
dad
God.
there?
My dad was there, and
cool.
he has a very his sense of humor is very different from mine.
Picky?
Very picky, but at the same time, he just kind of laughs at stuff that I wouldn't expect him to. And he was weeping during your set.
Great.
Weeping.
I love the tough nuts. You know, there's a certain. I can kind of gauge, look, I'm going to have at least 60. We're going to build up to 80.
Yeah.
And then there's that 20% that's not having it. And I end up with another 10 off the top. And I've had a 90% that I've slowly, systematically moved through the culture. And now the two old black ladies are crying, laughing. And there's 2 white girls in their 20s, angry as fuck.
Arms crossed.
In front of them. Being offended on behalf of somebody that they have nothing to do with.
Yeah, that shit drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, as you can see too from that performance, you're like, oh, okay, we can totally do what the fuck we want.
Whatever we want, and that was so eye-opening for me. Like I said, Knoxville's a hidden gem for people that start, but I've never seen someone that came out of Knoxville that stayed in Knoxville that has become, there's very funny comedians that are still there, but as far as, I think there's levels to everything.
Ron White probably wouldn't have been heard of to the level he's at now if he wasn't on the blue collar tour.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I
mean?
agree with that. Yeah.
Already a bona fide legend.
Yeah.
You know, Mount Rushmore of great comics, and that he had no. There was no plan to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to have somebody, I'm talking in circles now. The flowers are beautiful, aren't they?
They really are. This time of year.
Is this somebody was because I was going on about the flowers in the city? Is this Texas the flower state? Is that a thing?
Is that what it's called?
I think so. I might be. No, it's a Lone Star.
It's the Lone Star State. Yeah, but I know. I'm thinking Magnolia. I think Magnolia State's Mississippi, maybe.
Okay.
I think they have a flower.
I think the national Canadian flower is a poppy.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can go to jail for picking them too.
Yeah, that's apparently what's that like? How
Or fucking
opium
a
is
goose
made?
too. You can't fuck geese in Canada either.
Why not?
That's why I moved.
What the hell do you do up there? Yeah.
How do you think you're gonna stay warm without
Yeah.
those feathered fleshlights? Where can people find you?
Instagram, Winston_Shaw. That's really it. TikTok, same thing. That's really all I've got. I don't do
Yeah.
Facebook much. I don't do YouTube.
Yeah, it's funny though. Like you said, look at all the years just the 2.5 years you've been in this.
Yeah.
Your resume is as much as you could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I gotta stack this, but that's just time and, like I said, repetition.
Yeah.
From somebody who's been in the game for 26 years, and my observation about you guys moving here and doing it, you couldn't have a better situation in your life.
That makes me feel very good. Thank you for that.
You're on it, man, and you're gonna be fine. You know, the fact that you've been anointed with the Death Squad and the Kill Tony show, they need you. Brian and Tony want everyone to do well.
Yeah.
And they get, as you can see from last week's show, how pissed they get when 4 or 5 guys suck
Yes.
in a row and fuck up the whole night.
Whole thing. Yeah.
And that's why they have to have those ringers like Hans,
Yeah.
William, David,
Yeah.
Jared, Nathan. Were you around for my little special needs friend
I
from
love
Canada?
Jared. I love Jared.
Jared's coming back in end of January
Hell
because
yes.
we have a movie coming out.
Really?
Jared and I shot a horror movie about 4 months ago, and it's premiering at the Austin Horror Movie Festival here at the end of January.
That's so exciting.
We're going to, Jared's making his acting debut, and I'm having the director on the show today. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, here on beautiful Ladybird Lake.
Gorgeous. Jason, thank you so much for having me, man.
No problem.
It's been a blast.
He's just a roustabout, shifting from town to town. No job can hold him down.